Hi everyone, my name is Kartik and my channel is about mental models. In this video I'm going to be talking about activation energy. Activation energy is a topic that comes up in chemistry and is defined as the minimum amount of energy needed for the reactants to react with each other. There are two types of reactions, exothermic and endothermic. Now this isn't a chemistry lesson, so I won't go into these two reactions in any great detail, but I will draw the reaction pathway diagrams for both, and they look a little bit like this. And the reason for drawing them is that I will refer to them in a future video as well. So on the y-axis for both you have energy, and on the x-axis you have reaction progress, sort of like the timeline of the reaction. And the curve looks a little bit like this for an exothermic reaction. And for an endothermic reaction, it looks a little bit like that. So, what is activation energy in this? So I'll use a different colour so it stands out. This is the starting point of the endothermic reaction, and this is the starting point. Sorry, that's the starting point of the exothermic, and this is the starting point of the endothermic. And as you can see, that the energy needed to get from here to here, so from the start to the end, you need to increase the energy up to this top point here. And the same thing for this reaction. To go from the start here to the end here, you need to cross or get over this high point here. And this is your activation energy. That peak at the top, that is your activation energy. Because if you don't have that much energy, as a minimum, you're not going to get to the end goal. You're going to be sort of on this side of the slope. You'll never make it to the other side. And so that's what activation energy is. So why is this concept from GCSE or A-level chemistry something that I'm talking about in my video? Well, let's take a step back and think again about mental models. Mental models help us represent and understand the world in a simpler way. They can be applied to better understand different situations, to make better decisions, and subsequently produce better or more optimal outcomes. And bringing this to the forefront, this sort of idea of mental models to the forefront of our minds, what activation energy teaches us is that getting started, so sort of here, getting started is often the hardest part of any journey. We're going uphill. And once started, things become easier. So starting requires a disproportionate amount of energy and effort compared with sort of keeping that same thing going. So we need a lot of energy here to get to the top, but once we get to the top, it's a nice ride downwards. And that's what this teaches us. And so to get sort of to the end goal, we need that sort of initial push, otherwise we will never make it to the intended outcome that we wish to have. So what are the practical things that we can learn to do from this knowledge? Well, there are a few things. Number one, I'm going to call it frictionless. Make the first step or the initial steps as frictionless as possible. In order to do this, we need to understand what friction looks like. Friction is anything which slows down our flow. So let's take my example of this YouTube channel. I have a setup of the lights, the board, the table, the backdrop, the camera. So all of this I have to set up to get this video filmed and completed. And if I had to set up everything from scratch every time, put the board up, put the lights up, hang the backdrop, set the camera, every single time, there would be occasions where I would be less motivated, and so having all of this ready, or having at least the majority of this setup ready, helps me to sort of just feel, okay, it's all there, it's ready to go, let's go for it. And it reduces friction. So if I have to set everything up and then clean everything and put everything away, and then for the next video take everything out and put it back together again, get everything ready, I would probably be on certain occasions, lacking a bit of motivation, feeling a little bit lazy. We all have those down days. The video would just not get done. But having everything ready, the level of friction is lowered. Now I can't have everything set up, ready to go all the time. I can't have everything set up. I need to set up the camera each time, but the majority of the things are set up. So even on the days where I'm lacking a little bit of motivation, or I'm not completely feeling to do a video, I still manage to get myself here and motivate myself and get through it. Number 2, I'm going to call this small steps. Start with small steps. Break things down and make them simpler. If I take, again, my YouTube channel as an example, my focus on this channel up to now has just been to get going. It's not about having a perfect channel. If I sort of think about perfection, it would be overwhelming. And so for me, it was to make a start and not worry too much about the product. It shouldn't be catastrophically bad, of course, but the idea is to learn from each video and bring about improvements, be that sound quality, be that video quality, be that effects, or even how I deliver the content. So there's a lot of things that I've got to learn, but rather than sort of wait for it to be perfect, in which case I probably would never get going, it's better to start and make incremental steps and learn as you're going. And as things improve, I will then shift my focus on how I can make other things better, and then slowly try to tackle more difficult elements. But at the moment, it's about getting started and improving my videos. Number 3. Why? The third practical thing to take away from this is to keep in the back of your mind why you are doing it in the first place. Why are you doing what you are doing? And what is your intended outcome? What is your payoff? And so having this in the back of your mind, starting with why, almost, will help motivate you to put in the effort that is needed to get to the end. And that will lower your activation energy. And finally, reduce your activation energy by understanding and applying other mental models, such as catalysts, critical mass, and the domino effect. Now, I'm not going to talk about each of these now, because I will cover each of these as 3 separate videos, so please do watch out for those. And so this is what activation energy is about, and that is all for this video and this mental model. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then please like, share and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, then check out my earlier video on proximate versus root cause flashing on screen now. I'm sure you will like that one too. And I will see you in the next video with another mental model. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.